This is home. This is paradise. Even though no more leaves, but in my heart I can picture all. This is where we had the most beautiful time, and we were isolated too from the whole city life, but it's nice. My name is Elizabeth Kaimiloa Keka Spitals. My date of birth is October 14, 1930. And guess what? I love Lāna. I'll never leave this island. And just for you, aloha.
My full name, Harriet Haliaka Keali.
And your maiden name?
My maiden name is Haliaka Harriet Kaupuiki.
Oh, too beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me when you were born and where you were born.
I think I was born at Kimoko, 1927.
My name is Irene Kamahu'ialani Kakut. I was born here Lanai in 1917. My birthday is April 15.
My name is Henry Ayin Kauaki. My birth date is 11/25/24.
My name is Marian Ku'ule Aloha Kaupuiki Kanipae. I was born in the year of 1915, November 23.
We came under Homo'ula.
And you said what? With the cattle?
Yes, because we came first class over here. But first class down was the cattle. So we had to go to Honolulu and then come to Maui first, go to Honolulu and come back down here.
My father took care of the windmill. He made windmills. Yeah, he built windmills for the cattle down here. And also he built some up at Keali way back when they had the cattle. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now when we came, it's a harbor camp, yes. But most of the old timers, they moved up the city. Why? Because they had houses up there, new houses for them.
My mother moved away because my brothers wanted her to come to Lanai to cook for them.
Yes,
They were working for the Plantation. At that time was Hawaiian pine. So that's the reason she had moved over to Lanai.
So how was life down there?
Oh, I loved it, being down there over 20 years. And then when I first went down there, it's the job is clean. It's not like working up in the pineapple field.
Yeah.
Pineapple field when you gotta pack. The olden days you had to put the pineapple in a bag here and you pack it as much as you can. Every off season, we sidetrack the crane back here, and the trucks go up and get rocks and bring down and pick and set. And I was the diver to set all those rocks.
Wow. So you actually would dive and you would watch.
Well, I'd watch them and tell them where to set the rock.
Wow.
Because when they first had, remember, we don't have any hardware. Everything is ordered from Honolulu, and everything comes on the barge. We didn't have any plane.
Right.
Either that or the boat, So everything came from Honolulu, and we needed the tools when they do the repair work on the wharf there. Fall in the water, and they knew I could dive. They see me diving all the time. He said, "You can go down and get all the." Yeah, I didn't ask how much they're gonna pay me. I dive 1 dive, 2 dive. I'm 8 hours for the day. I'm pow. Oh, the guy used to get jealous. Wow, the guy, oh, he just made only 1 dive. Look, he's done working. He got 8 hours paid. That's what I used to do.
This is where I, not only my family, but my children's classmates would spend the weekend down here. You know? And I'd have to get a big pot, cook all the food that I needed to cook, so that when they come down, we had food.
Sunday, we go to church, that Kepā church, while we was young yet. When we go to church, we have to ride a horse, or sometimes we walk. Go to church without from Kepā, go to Kepā church. And that's far to us. I don't know how many miles to.
One year, my brother was raising a little pig, and he got when pig was little, well, I don't know how, but old enough to get around, run around, and he would run up the steps, and the pig would run up the steps and chase him, and they would run around and play, and we would play master with the pigs. Pigs, but he raised pigs, and then we raised no taros though, and we didn't have vegetables either. So we had the big Hawaii right close to our house, you know. And if the big rain that came down, and the water would flow down up to the ocean. You know, one year it just came close to getting into our house. Yeah, we put our hands in and play with them, and never thought that what doing in the house was always funny. And fast we'd come up somewhere waiting for it to come higher. But anyway, it didn't. But it got bunny water, you're hurting down from up there and going down in the ocean, and the ocean would be all brown.
Up the city, we never had the beach like how we had it down here. And I would, when my children go out and play, and I tell them to stick around, they go exploring the place, you know. And it just shocked me, because I have, thank goodness for my dog, Ringo. He was a dog after my heart. He took care of the chickens. He took care of my kids. If I needed to find where my kids are, I would go up the hill, down there where the tank is, and holler, Ringo! And when he'd see him, he'd come and he'd bark. I know all the kids are down in the other corner.
We had school. Our teacher used to come, and we'd have school for maybe 3 months, 4 months. The teacher leaves, so we have vacation. And teacher don't come back for another 2-3 months, and we get teacher again. And then she would say, I think Mrs. Keali was the last one, was the only one that stayed long. And our schoolhouse was nice. Little schoolhouse was built close to the ocean. You can look out in the sand dunes, so all the windows were on the ocean side. So when the teacher needed to go home to her house for something, us kids would run around and play and jump off the window and the sand dunes and so like that. Then we used to have fun with this nice red green schoolhouse. And the teachers used to come and not to just nothing. We didn't have any stories or anything, you know. So they'd stay and they could discuss who. So the middle-aged ones would come after that kind of thing. And they too would say, they don't want to stay here without nothing to do.
So one-room schoolhouse.
One-room schoolhouse. The teacher would come and you'd be in that one grade, then the teacher would go and then another one come, you're still in the same grade.
You know, we're simple. We don't have what you call the lights, street lights.
Yeah.
We don't have buses so take us all over the place. We live with what we had. We went into the pineapple field when I was young. We went and picked up tomatoes, the vegetables. There was people just, when they had their lunch, the squash, the tomatoes, They were just wild all over. And watermelon in the pineapple field.
Wow.
Why? Because they used to water it. And that's how the plants, grew and had all these fruits and vegetables that you can eat.
Oh, the watermelon patch when we had the land. At that time, we had that down Mount Ole. And this is where the watermelon was planted all down there. So, time for us to go down there to help and clean the weeds. And we cannot go inside there and go clean. They just tell us to watch out when we go because the watermelon grow out there. And strong wind, that the rice stick, the one that Japanese eat, the chopstick. That's our job. Gotta go put sticks all around the branches that spread out.
Yes.
Because when the wind comes, turn the branches around. And that's what we gotta do.
We planted watermelons up at Ka, yeah? I think Ka, to lay Ka. It was a big land they have. And then we plant, so we go up and help them. So when the watermelons are ready to be shipped out. But before that, we go and clean, weed up the place and all. So this girl, my friend, Reichel and she and I would be partners and we go clean. Make little, peg the vines. You have to peg it so the wind blow and you would put well, we would peg them and then there was some watermelon planted already ready to be harvested. She and I would be walking around and looking, and when we see one we can we snitch them. Take them out. They can go back to the wood pile. Nobody's around and we squash it and break it and start eating watermelon. But we used to do that, and the kids used to go around and weed around. Yeah. Then when they time to ready to be harvested, we all go and help get them, and we have to lug it to the beach to put it on the little boat to take it out to the bigger boat, and then they take it to Maui.
Yes.
Now when time for harvest of watermelon, these are children no good, color here. Me especially, how greedy you like to, you like the big one instead of the small one. Because our parents said, take the big kind, you just leave the big ones alone. Because they put everything out and ready for carry, we grab the big one and the small one, but when we run with the big one, we fall down and broke. We cannot sell that kind.
So we had fun with that big one. It was a big one like that. Oh, it's good. I wouldn't let it go. My mother said, "Tonight, leave it. I'll take it." No, I gotta take it. I said, "No, I can carry it. I can carry it." And then she walked away. I walked down with the watermelon, and got to our place where we had fence across so the cattle wouldn't come in our yard, and didn't want to put the watermelon down. I had to hold it and get through that fence. And it was only about that, and I figured I could get through it. When the wire's you can pull up the wire back. So I took this watermelon and I put them tight, and I went through, and I fell. The water went pop, and the watermelon was sweet and it was red, and it was delicious. All the kids that were hiding, the little ones, all dropped the watermelons. We got together and we dug into that. It was just...
Life down there is so hard. I don't know how they can live. But when Manu came, he raised cow, and he had goat, and he had sheep. And in certain time, he give the people chance, go hunting. And whatever they get, that's why they have that jug, the one they call that, calamania.
Aye.
They salt their meat and put all in inside there. It had the meat, whatever they get. And that's how we can live. Only from that, our lifetime.
Yeah.
And if no more meat like that, then they have to go down the beach and get fish. And then we get plenty of fish down there.
Crab went in that cooker, so you could dig it and you get crab for us.
Crabs for dinner tonight.
Yeah, get it for enough.
So tell me, when you were a little cakey, you would go to the holes and you'd start digging, yeah?
Yeah, my brother used to. There used to be plenty. You're running around and all, and then you'd run in the hole. And my brother would just say, "Go dig it, quick, quick!" And we go over there, stupid, you know. We go and just start digging. The crab bite us because they're there and they can't go anywhere else. It's down in the cooker. So when we get down there, the crab go, "Oh, okay," and they're screaming, they're coming, "I was there!" And they're big crabs. Mm-hmm.
And chasing the crabs.
Yeah.
You know, the crabs all running up the
Oh,
stand. Yeah. And you know, when they go in the hole, we you know, try and, yeah.
You pinch them.
Yeah. Catch them, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't catch them, they bite your fingers there, and then you just cry.
I went to every part of this island to do my fishing. It started from down here.
From here.
I tell you, my mom is good. My mom used to take the net and go out, and we used to go with her. We take the bucket, she takes the net. And then we spot the place. She knows where the fishes are. I don't know how they can tell, but she knows that. And when she comes, she throws it and gets them. Then we take them out from the net.
So you get focus and then you see the squid inside there. And it teach us, when you look over there, the rock turn around, it means the squid is someplace around there. And that's how we learn how to catch a squid.
Yeah.
I meet the kolohe one, like sometimes I hear the bell ringing, but I stay in the sea looking for squid to feed the people when they can,
Yeah.
after church. And that's how I get a squid.
My brother used to come out in the early morning with the tide is low, and you come out on the reef over there, get outside, and you go, and then there's the reef, and they have a little place where, what you call that, like an opening. Yeah, but the water coming, you can go through there with the boat. And he'd come and he'd catch lobsters and crabs, just about everything you can think of in the ocean. He'd like to go out fishing and everything. It was really fun. And he'd come back with a bag full of OPs. Small ones and big ones and big ones.
At night, akuli, opelo, minpache, anything that would eat the bait.
Yeah.
But beside that, we had to throw, we call it palu. It's just like you mix up the sardine and the bread together, and you stuff it together, and you toughen it up, with the dry bread.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so you can put it with the shrimp. You shred the shrimp, and you can put it on the hook.
Aye.
And then you catch. I was a good mamo catcher. Very tricky. You had to use what do you call that now? That little ball with
The little
the
floater.
floater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you had to use the floater, and you had to watch that thing. Once it went down, you better jerk it fast. And that's what I used to do. But my father was a good fisherman. He caught ulua.
Oh, down here.
Yeah, he is. But his bamboo is not with the spinner. They made their own bamboo. What do you call the pine trees? The little ones that up going
the
down.
ironwood ones. The
Yes,
ironwood.
the ironwood.
Yeah.
He made his pole.
From Kemoku, we would walk all the way up to here. The thing I was interested was the fresh water. There's the area over here, and you go there and you look, and then you see them rippling out into the rocks, and it's fresh water.
Yes.
Yep, from up there.
You can drink that.
Yeah, we used to take it in our hands and drink it,
Yeah.
and it's real fresh.
Yeah. How about the limu and the opai? Limu ele ele,
Yeah. My brother used to come and get, my brother Lloyd, and he used to come down and get out there and get upais, and lots of them.
Yeah.
Used to come home. And limu, when the limu time come. We got no more limu elele.
Yeah. No more now, yeah?
No more.
How you folks ate honu too
And
before?
the turtle, we used to live with the turtle.
Yeah.
And the turtle, when my father didn't no more time to go to catch the ocean rough like that, and they keep the turtle for how many days alive yet. So, kalu the turtle.
Kalua.
They kalu the turtle, and then when the turtle cook, you know, the breast, the plenty meat, and that's what my mom did. Straight all that meat, dry them out, and that's our candy.
But anyway, we go fishing with they put, Mama go with the, what you call that? The long one, the net.
The upena.
Yeah, they have one end, two ends, and you roll them up, and then
Yeah.
when you go, you unroll.
Yeah. Ku'u, upena ku'u.
Yeah, so us kids, she goes out and then makes that little circle, and then we come out there and shoot all the fishes from away, wherever, and it's just playing splashing water and having fun, but we didn't know what the heck it was. But we were having fun, but the fishes would run that way, to the net. And then she would tell us, get out, and we pull the net, pull the net and then come in.
So like hooky lao.
Yeah.
Ah.
Then it would pull them all in and spread them on the sand, and all the fishes stuck inside. We always did that mostly every Saturdays we go out and do fishing.
Right where I live, on the corner house there, overlooking down, you see the akuli come in. That was used to be the akuli. I don't know if it's still coming in now, but certain time they come in, you can see that ball of fish.
And Mama would go gather salt and limu like
Right,
that, yeah?
from up there she walked down. She never went down the harbor side.
Yeah.
From the cliff she walked down.
Wow.
And she was in the 70s already when she walked down there.
Gee, look at that.
One time we had a whale from Molokai, I think it went by, like it looked like they were in a, when I look at that, I thought they were going to a funeral. You know, because they were all in a row, just full. So, oh, gee, we got all excited. Called the kids, called the parents, come see the whales. We sat there and watched, and they just went by. Beautiful. It was beautiful.
I used to walk the beach, you know, I had nothing to do. I walked the beach and pick up all the apple and orange on the beach.
From
With
where?
the Navy ship always parked right outside Lahaina and Lanai. They were all anchored out there. And the rubbish always dumped over.
Yeah.
No law before. So everything just float up on the beach.
There's times that the ship come into Maui and this thing, and they dump a lot of things out from the boat, their ship, and they come floating to Lanai. And we get up in the morning, we come down, we find mattresses and foods like crates of oranges and all like that.
The pancake is the famous one for us. Any kind way of cooking the pancake. And my mom did give that, they call that the stone bread. They bake that on the charcoal, and that's what we take. No matter what kind of bread they make, that's the kind of food we take. Our teachers sometimes they look at that and they like eat too.
We come to church here with the other one is from down that lives here. We go to Sunday school. We have a teacher and teaches us biblical stories and whatnot, but we're not listening. We look out the window and the couple, the tamarind trees outside. You know, my sister Leah,
Aye.
she was the oldest, you know, and my sister Rebecca. Yeah. So they were living here at the ranch.
At the ranch. Oh.
So we have to come up
to go to school, and you know, my sister used to take care of
How did
me
you come up?
and my brother.
Yes.
Same year.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you come up to Ko'ele from Keaumoku?
You know, my brother used to have this old kind car. What they call that? Model T.
Model T. Oh.
Yeah. And you know, they used to come down, you know, once a week, you know, like weekend, and then that's how they, you know, pick us.
Old dirt road, go all
Yeah,
the way down.
all the way down.
Must have taken a long time.
It is, and you know those cars, that Model T or whatever you call it, you know, it's, you know, you cannot go fast because, you know, but that was our car.
And our schoolhouse was nice. Little schoolhouse was built close to the ocean. You can look out in the sand dunes, so all the windows were on the ocean side. So when the teacher needed to go home to her house for something, us kids would run around and play and jump off the window and the sand dunes and slide down.
When past school, what we do, we like to slide down because they hear, and you know what, we get spanking when we go home because you get all dirty.
Oh,
And
wait.
that's true.
Yeah.